Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we look at Tales of Zestiria the X, Episode 4. Damn, I always have problems saying Zestiria. It's weird. Like, that doesn't flow off the tongue too well, Tales of Zestiria the X. Well, that flowed a little better when I actually took the time to say it. Anyways, though, Episode 4. Some issues with it, more so because I'm a fan of the game and played the whole game through and, know everything about it. I have some issues with it, but we'll talk about that in a second. Anyways, let's talk about the episode for the people who have not played the game and who are just watching the anime. So, Saray wakes up after having a very high fever, according to Mikleo, because he had taken the power of the Shepherd, and that gave him a high fever because of the power that is essentially taking in Lila, which is, the one that was the seraphim they took in for the power of the Shepherd. And that caused me, of course, to pass out, as we know last episode. But luckily, he's okay. He's fine now. And Alicia comes in, is very happy also that he's alive. And she gives him a present, which is his outfit, his actual shepherd garb, which is really cool. I think this outfit's one of the coolest things about the show, because what it essentially does is it uses his already basic attire, but puts this the robe over it. But it looks really solid. I thought it really looked cool in the game too, because they don't really give him, like, per se, a whole bunch of different garb or anything like that. They just give him something simple that works with his character model. It looks really cool to me. I don't know. Maybe you guys agree or disagree. I'm curious in the comments below. But I like his outfit. Anyways, for the most part, he is talking to Alicia about different things, and he actually says at one point, he was talking about the Seraphim, and then Lila has the idea that if he gives her, Alicia, his hand, she can communicate through him. And after much issues with that, him having to hold his nose, close his eyes, hold his breath, and have his ears covered, she's able to actually contact Alicia, and so is Mikleo at the same time. And so now Alicia realizes that Seraphim are indeed real, and she's very happy about that, because as someone of a royal status, she's always believed in the Seraphim and always hoped that they were alive and really something of lore that was true. And now she's 100% affirmative, hey, they exist. She was really happy about that, so her beliefs are not completely invalid. Anyways, the episode gets sidetracked to a point where she has to go to a meeting of sorts. So Saray and the rest of the gang actually then go out and start exploring. Now, one big issue with this, and I'm going to show you guys and girls, the dungeon sequence that they go through is a dungeon sequence that happens a little later in the game. It's not the first dungeon, it's technically the second one that they go through. I have issues with this because that's a big part to skip over. It makes more sense when they go through the sewer dungeon, which is the first dungeon you have to go through in the game, just for story purposes. But it's okay. I'm not 100% like, I don't really have, it's not gonna make me hate the show or anything like that. It's just something that I have issues per se with. But there was a necessity to having it where it was in the sewer first. But behold, that they did it this way, so no big deal, whatever. They have a different route that I think they want to go with the anime, of course, than having to do everything blow by blow of the game. And I talked about this early on, that I didn't figure they would take everything from the game and kind of transition into an anime. That'd be kind of too much work, and it wouldn't make sense, honestly. But they are attacked in the dungeon by various creatures, Malbeasts, they're called. And luckily, Saray, with his new power, is able to vanquish the Malbeasts because he's able to actually purify them now, which is really cool. That's something that he couldn't do before. As they explore the dungeon further, they end up kind of causing a trip to go off, a trip of a trap, I should say. A trip of a trap, that's terrible. They end up causing a trap to go off, and they have to actually bail out of the dungeon as fast as possible. Now, meanwhile, there is something going on above the surface, and that looks like that weird tornado that was seen from episode prologue with Alicia's group is once again hitting, and it's hitting directly in the center of the town. And Saray is front and center seeing this power and knowing that it's something definitely wrong with it. Where they're going to go from this, I'm not sure. I think that this kind of twister that was put in the prologue was very important because it's something slightly different from the game. I'm not saying it's entirely different. I'm just saying it's slightly. The way the game did it was very different in terms of how it was represented on the in the game itself. But, I'm okay with that. I think that's a kind of unique twist they have on it, and I think it looks really cool. I mean, one of the visual effects of how the tornado looks and how it kind of just has this creepy aura to it is really nice. So overall, I have no issue with the show. I just have an issue with how they paced it a little bit. I mean, I'm curious how they're going to go with it. That's one thing that why watching this is partially new to me and also partially not new. I think if you were a diehard fan of the game, you might have issues here and there with Tales of Zestiria the X, only because it is a lot of essentially homages, which don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing per se. Like, I love the homages where they play the music from the actual battle music in game. They play it during the sequence when Saray is fighting the Malbeast. I thought that was cool. But if you are one of those people that really is kind of a stickler for certain adaptations to be a certain way, especially video game adaptations, because I know a lot of people are, you will have some issues with it here and there. That's expected. I mean, you shouldn't really, because I understand that, hey, listen, it's a 60-hour game, folks. Translating that to like maybe a 5 to 10 hour anime, you know, I'm going to probably guess maybe 6 hours in total for the show. That is ridiculous. So, I mean, I really expect them to skip over a lot of the unnecessary fluff and just kind of go at it the story full way. They don't want to do kind of certain aspects of the game that might be, I want to say, filler if it was actually put into the anime itself. But anyways, still enjoyable series. I like it. I'm still here sticking around with it. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on it, guys, below down. You know, put the comments. Hey, what do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Etc. Etc. As always, you know the whole nine. Hit the like button, subscribe button, share button. You know the whole. It helps me out a lot. I will talk to you later. Have a great night, everyone. Bye bye.